everybody, welcome to Dubs Talk Live, presented by FitAid. A massive win for the Warriors, a double-digit win for the Warriors over the Celtics, the team they beat in the championship, and also the team that brought the best record in the league to Chase Center. Hello, this is Dalton Johnson. I'm Kerith Burke. We're talking about how big this is. I want to mention something that Jason Tatum said post-game. This is coming from Ben Golliver. He's a national NBA writer. Celtics Jason Tatum on the loss to the Warriors. Quote, "Tonight was more meaningful to you guys," he's talking about the media, "than it was to us. It was one game. It's not going to dictate our season." You know what? That's true. This was a regular season game, but are we pretending that this game didn't have any juice to it? What do you think a win like this means to the Dubs? Look at your face.
Kerith.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Come
with
on
you.
now.
Oh,
I mean, Jason Tatum, I understand it. It's a regular season game.
Yeah.
And definitely is built up with the media. But again, this is the team that took down the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals.
Oh, yes.
The Celtics had a chance last season. They're up 2-1 in the finals on their home court. They had a chance to take away this dynasty, this team. So say what you want, but the Warriors came in locked in tonight, and it was clear. I mean, Steve Kerr said before the game, this is the best team in the NBA this season. They are on a roll right now. And the Warriors, they reminded everybody, hey, the champs are the champs until proven otherwise. So say what you will, but in my eyes, this was a big-time win.
Yeah, let's go for the Warriors defense tonight, too, because the Celtics came in, yes, with the best record, but #1 in the league in points, okay? They averaged 121. Tonight, the Warriors held them to 107. They are #1 in three-point shooting, averaging 40%. Tonight, the Warriors held them to 30. And let's go back to Tatum, who is an MVP candidate, averaging 30.5 points per game, 18 points on 6 of 21 from the field. Who was defending Jason Tatum? It was Klay Thompson as the primary defender. What do you think this game meant to Klay?
I think it meant a ton, because I mean, you look at last game, right? Klay admits, hey, I fell asleep. It's on me for the loss. He comes out, and what he did on both sides of the ball, that's what he wants to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we know how competitive Klay Thompson is. And I think tonight was another stern reminder again that, hey, I'm a competitor. Whatever you guys need from me, I'm going to give. And last game is last game. These are the Boston Celtics, and I'm going to give everything I can to slow down a Jason Tatum and also to score more than 30 points. So, again, two-way Klay came to play tonight, and wow, what an impressive performance from him.
Two-way Klay.
Two-way Klay, I like that.
Two-way Klay came to play. Well, you know what? When Marcus Smart, the defending player of the year, is on Steph Curry, he did make Steph have a little bit of a slow start. So there was this little vacuum. It was like, who's going to step up? And it was Klay Thompson. He had the hot start. And then, as you mentioned, of course he wanted to have a bounce-back game. He felt a little bad after the Jazz game when he gave up that three to Beasley. So, you know, Klay also wanted to have a strong defensive effort tonight, especially with Andrew Wiggins not in the lineup. So who's going to handle that Tatum assignment, which is a tough one of the tougher ones in the league? It's Klay Thompson. And as I'm looking at the box score here, you've got Klay and Steph combining for 66 of the Warriors' 123 points, so more than half. This felt like some vintage Splash Brothers stuff.
It sure did, and what was so impressive to me was how efficient they were. You know, these two guys, 66 points. They shot better than 55% from the field. They shot better than 45% on three-pointers. And you just talked about a little bit with Klay, right, where that first quarter, he was coming off really, really well, but he scored 12 points in the first quarter. None were three-pointers. And to me, that shows that, hey, I'm attacking. I'm going to get nice, good shots. He had a putback, a little tip-in, something that you don't usually see from Klay, but it was the little things that he was doing. He wasn't hunting for shots by any means. And then there was Steph, who was kind of filling out this Celtics defense. Obviously, he knows all about them, how they're going to try to attack him. 8 points in the first quarter. But again, very efficient. So that's what really stood out to me with Steph and Klay, was the efficiency of how they combined for 66 points.
Yeah, well, it looked like Klay could get whatever he wanted, whether it was layups. I think he had a little baby dunk in this one. It was Jay's. He had 4 threes in this one. He took a lot of shots, okay? Klay Thompson took 26 shots tonight, made 14 from the field, so shooting better than 50%. If he does that, he's got the green light to do whatever he wants. And then, of course, that combines with Steph Curry, who did start to get cooking. The Celtics, tried some different looks on him. Sorry, he's Steph Curry, it's not going to work. So at the end of the first quarter, the shot of the game. I saw this everywhere online. We got to show you this one. It's right over Houseman. What's the guy's name? It doesn't matter. Sam Hauser. Steph's just gonna dance on him a little bit. Look at this. Cold-blooded. Turns around before it goes in. Okay, he knew. But then did Steph ask the crowd? Did you see this moment? He turned to the other baseline. Hey, did that go in? Did I? Yeah. What do you think of Steph just toying with somebody in this game?
If there's one thing the Celtics can be happy about tonight is that they do not have to see number 30 for a long time, only one more time in the regular season. They got to be sick of him, right? It's like, come on, Steph, enough. The guy is an absolute, I'm going to say this again, this is a compliment. He's a psycho in the best way. I mean, he knows how to just absolutely derail another fan base where it's like, come on, really? You again? To do that with the ball hanging in the air from that deep against what has been the best team in the NBA, who you beat in the finals, that is just pure savagery. You can't not love it.
I love that you call him a psycho. That's one of my favorite words for Steph.
It is.
How do you describe this guy?
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah. Because everyone talks like he's all this bubbly guy, the baby-faced assassin.
Yeah.
And then boom, balls in the air, and you're like, nope, I know how good I am.
This is where he kills people. Okay, he doesn't have to be a jerk. He doesn't have to swear or anything like this. Steph lets the game do the talking, and that's just savage, I think.
It is.
Some
and you
psycho
can feel
business.
it. You can really, really feel it. I mean, from the ground floor up to the very, very tip top of Chase Center, when he does something like that, it's not only like, okay, game on. It's, okay, this is a different feeling now. And it all starts with Steph pressing that button. I feel like he always knows what the crowd needs, what his team needs, his coaches, his teammates.
Yeah.
That's what he's so great at, too. That's something that you don't see in the box score or anything else. He knows what his team needs always.
He's always that showman. He's always in control of what the emotion is on the floor. I love that. Always happy for his teammates as well. So yeah, 2 30-point scores in this one. You can add Jordan Poole with 20, and then we've got Jonathan Kuminga off the bench with 14. We will talk about Kuminga, but just to round it out right now off the top, it's like the Warriors needed this game. Okay, not Bob Myers, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr was talking about this, how it feels like the team was stuck in the mud just a little bit, making improvements, but maybe not having enough to show for it. How about a W over the best team in the NBA?
Exactly, right? Where you come off that kind of loss and you can not feel sorry for yourself, but be a little bit dejected and really one of those. But to have a little bit of time to regroup back at home and say, this is the game where we need to be locked in for 48 minutes. And that means the starters, that means the bench. You know, there were so many guys that provided to this game. You know, we can talk about Steph and Klay all night long. Don't get me started. We can do it. But again, this was a team win. Talk about guys like Kevon Looney, Jonathan Kuminga, Dante DiVincenzo giving you a plus 20 off the bench. So I think from top to bottom, this felt like, Steve Kerr won't fully say it, but it felt like the most complete win of the season. And that was important. Before you go on a road trip like this that starts off with the Milwaukee Bucks, this was the most important win for the Warriors so far this season.
Yep. All right, so the Splash Brothers will get a lot of credit for this game, but we want to break it down a little bit further. Coming up on Dubs Talk, presented by Fit Aid, Looney, Kuminga, a little bit of Poole, and then, Dalton, as you mentioned, we need to get to the upcoming schedule when we come back.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
If we could get him, Hey everybody, nice to see you on YouTube. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from and how you are feeling after this game. Did it feel like just a regular season game? Not to me. Not to me.
Game 27. Here we go.
Yeah, no word yet. Denzel. Oh, I'd love to hear that if that's okay. All right, cool. No, can we do Kuminga first since he just sat down?
I got some good Kuminga stats too.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. Okay. There's another Kuminga one, and let's surprise you. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Can we talk about Kuminga? We see the tweet, and then we toss to Kuminga at the podium, yes? Yeah, of course. Yep. Okay, great.
So we'll talk Kuminga when we come on
Yes.
this game? Okay.
Yeah.
What is the tweet?
It's something that Jason Tatum said. I want to surprise reviewers from March. About
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Okay.
For a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. Can you see the screen? Okay. I might
I
have you
can, I
read
can.
it if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. All right. Cool. We've got somebody watching from France. Says feeling sleepy. Way
anyone
to go
watching
for
from a
France.
Boston
Okay,
pub?
France did well in the World Cup today. Congratulations. Allez, bleu? How do you say? I'm sorry I don't speak French, but way to go. Otis is watching from San Francisco.
My wife
Otis,
knows
my guy,
French.
that's great.
I do not.
All right. Welcome back to Dubstock Live, presented by FitAid. Dalton and Kerith here up at the Cantina, and there's a new number. You can see Bill Russell's number 6 behind us. All right, for Jonathan Kuminga, this was a big boy game, all right? A big stage, moments when he had to guard Jason Tatum, and we're seeing Kuminga develop right before our eyes, build into something special. What did you think?
The fact that a 20-year-old is figuring out how to be a role player in the NBA is huge to me because he's always known the talent that he has. The Warriors have always known the talent that he has. And I think sometimes in the past, Kuminga's just wanted everything right now, which is understandable.
Of
And it's
course.
kind of the world that we live in
Yeah.
with sports, with the NBA, with everything, right? And it seems like ever since Steve Kerr kind of put his arm around him and talked to him about, like, this is what you can do for the team. This is how great you can be. The game is coming so much easier to him. And it's just been kind of really fun to see what the Jonathan Kuminga experience is each game. It's becoming more and more interesting and a lot more fun for the Warriors and their fan base every single game with Kuminga.
Well, he's in year 2, and it's fun to see the ways that he's taken the lessons from the team. Oh, wait a minute. Can you see that, Dalton? What does that say?
I can. Here's what Jason Tatum said on Twitter in March. Kuminga gonna be very good for a long time. Jason Tatum,
yeah.
you know ball, but I'm sorry about your crystal ball because you saw the future a little too easily for the Warriors against your Celtics.
Yes, all right, so that was back in March, but it's one of those fun moments where the players are fans of this league. They like to identify, ooh, that boy's good. And now you had to face him tonight. So, yeah, so Jonathan Kuminga, 14 points, 6 of 9. He's just looking more comfortable out there. I think he has more awareness of what shots can be his. You know he's hungry for some dunks and layups, the dunks especially, which is great. Why not show off his athleticism?
Yeah, exactly. He's utilizing the athleticism in the easiest way. I wrote about this morning with Andrew Wiggins being out. Like, that is the tape that Jonathan Kuminga can watch and be like, oh, wow, like, this is who I can be. Is that NBA Finals tape of Andrew Wiggins where it was over 18 points, over 9 rebounds, but it was the efficiency, right? And you talk about tonight with Kuminga, 6 for 9 from the field. In the 5 games that Andrew Wiggins has missed this season now, Kuminga now is averaging 16.8 points and shooting basically 57% from the field. So that's, again, 20 years old and starting to figure that out. You know, he had the move tonight where early on the shot clock, I think it was at 5, put up a corner 3, didn't make it. Later on, the Celtics really backed off. He took one dribble, took his time, buried the 3-pointer.
Splash.
And it's like you're learning as a 20-year-old in real time how the game can be easier and easier for you. So I think, again, this was a Splash Brothers game. But this also was a big-time Jonathan Kuminga game. The ultimate lesson, the ultimate test to go against Jason Tatum, to go against Jaylen Brown. He passed the test, and Steve Kerr is only going to trust him more and more.
I think it's interesting that you wrote about the fact that JK can look at Wiggins, an all-star teammate, and say, all right, this tape should start to look like your tape too. These are the defensive things you can do and the offensive things to impact winning, which Jonathan Kuminga did tonight. Jonathan Kuminga is at the podium. Let's take a listen.
You've been asked this question, I'm sure, several times over the last few weeks, but just how much more comfortable do you feel on the court over these last, 8, 10 games as you kind of worked your way into the rotation?
I mean, I just feel comfortable being around there. I think it's just one of the parts that the team want me to be more comfortable as we go. I feel like it's just going to keep helping the team to even get better as long as I'm growing as a player and knowing what I need to do out there.
Draymond said after that Utah game when you guys came back that he's sort of going over some film with you or going over some defensive details with you. What did you take away from sort of your talk with him, or overall, what do you take away from your talks with him?
I mean, he came up to me talking. He was telling me that I've been playing good defense, but I just got to learn certain trick on defense. Sometimes I don't got to do a lot of job on defense if I just know how to play against the people playing against me. So it's like a mental thing. It's like a mind thing. Just got to know how to think, and it's going to be even easier. And I'm going to end up getting steals and just being able to just stop the men from scoring.
Can you describe the dunk on Tatum? Definitely like you were kind of preparing yourself, bracing for it. Did you know you were going to get that dunk even a couple seconds before it happened?
I mean, I wasn't going for the dunk at first, Coach Jordan played for me to go out there and just to make things happen. And if I didn't end up scoring, you just got to execute, especially as a young player, again, drawing the play. And you got Steph and Klay and Draymond on the floor. You got to really execute that play. Even if I didn't end up scoring, you just got to make a play. You got to make something happen. But I ended up getting a dunk. I was happy to just be in that moment.
Dunking on maybe the guys having the best season in the NBA is pretty good for you?
I mean, it's a game of basketball. When we go out there hooping against anybody, I don't really think about what they do or who they are. I just go out there and just play and try to help my team to win.
You got a lot of time guarding Tatum and Brown. What were kind of the keys in those matchups?
I mean, just taking some stuff away, seeing the way they're playing, and knowing what they really like to do on the floor, especially if I get more matchups with them, knowing that they like to go left or right, just doing different moves on the floor. I think it was good for me. It was just a part of my growth that when I go back and watch film and just know what I need to do better.
Wiggins has been out the last few games, may miss more, we don't know. But how much have you told yourself, or has they told you going into these games, like, your wing defense is needed really more than ever with Andrew out?
I mean, I feel like I was playing even when Wiggs was still there, and that I don't have to do nothing with me getting better on defense. I just got to do my part. Like I said, just come out there, help the team win. I think that's my first priority. That's the biggest thing to do out there, especially with Wiggs out. You just got to put more pressure on helping the team to win.
And Jonathan, you've guarded Luka, you've guarded Tatum and Brown. Do you feel like you can guard anybody in the league at this point?
I mean, I'm confident I guard anybody in the league. I'm not going to say I'm going to stop them 48 minutes while they're playing, but as long as I help the team to stop whoever going crazy in the game, especially if somebody averaged 30, I end up stopping him from getting 39 and getting 25. I feel like I did a good job and come out with the win. So I'm really excited just to go out there and guard every best player. I feel like I've been doing good, and I'm going to keep doing it.
There are times when you pick up like almost 94 feet. Do you know when you're going to do? When do they tell you to do that, or is that just sometimes you feel it's the right time?
Nobody never tell me to go out there and pick up 94 feet. I feel like just putting pressure right when they check the ball in, it kind of slow down whatever they're trying to get into. So it's just a mentality that I just put myself into. I'm like, it don't matter if I get embarrassed or nothing. I'm just going to go out there and just guard the best player, picking up 94 feet, and just make them slow down their game.
All right, Jonathan Kuminga saying he felt like he did a good job tonight. We agree, and there's a bucket that you wanted to spotlight.
I do. His defense was great, but the fact that when he took down Tatum, kind of backing him down low, he went to do a spin move. He lost the ball for a second. And for him in a split second after that to grab it and not waste any time, go right up and dunk on Jason Tatum.
Oof.
Like, that was just so eye-opening to me. And you think about the past of where Jason Tatum was 19 as a rookie. Jonathan Kuminga is now 20 years old. And you see the way Tatum has really soared his rise. And you're just starting to see it with someone like Kuminga, So that was the one that really opened my eyes as far as, wow, he can do this that quickly in the middle of the game, and he's not scared of an MVP candidate like Jason Tatum.
No, big spotlight for Kuminga, and he's shown in this game. Another star of this game, of course, Steph Curry. Let's hear from him.
Steph Kerr mentioned that maybe you guys needed a game with this kind of energy, the team you played in the finals, national TV. Did you kind of feel this was maybe a little necessary to just kind of ramp things up for you?
All things considered, yeah. Great team coming in, best team in the league. We haven't had a solid 48-minute performance in a while, even some of our wins. Coming off a tough loss in Utah, just trying to stay above 500 and build some momentum, especially going on this road trip. All those circumstances make this one feel pretty good, and knowing that we can still get to that level. The challenge is obviously to sustain it.
Prior to his injuries, Klay was a guy who always took on your opponent's best wing, best guard. Was tonight's game by him kind of reminiscent to that pre-injury Klay, just the way he played on both ends?
For sure. I know he was motivated coming off of the way the game went in Utah and turning the page and taking the challenge on. I think he started on Tatum to start, the game, trying to make it difficult on him. He made plays on both ends. I think offensively, the game was connected. When you locked in defensively and you worry about, the things that impact the flow of the game and, your matchup and the challenge there, usually, you're rewarded with, looks and a good rhythm and flow and offense, and it's just about making shots, and we know he can do that. So it was great to see everything connect on both ends for him and for our team.
What is like having a win like this? Draymond Green called it a statement win when he was walking back to the locker room. What is having a win like this before a long road trip where you're playing 6 games a nights on the road? What does it do for you guys?
It just gives you the recipe on the intensity and focus you have to beat a team like that, and then knowing how hard it is to win on the road. We haven't done it well at all this season. So for everybody to understand, again, their role when they're going to be in the game, who they'll be playing with, the defensive intensity that we need to give ourselves a chance, knowing, we haven't been able to sustain that level in these first 27 games. So we want to feel good about ourselves getting on the plane and going, to these 5 cities and 4 cities and 5 games and figure out how to, really, take advantage of the opportunity in front of us.
On a 6-game road trip, we'll talk about it next. All right, we're back on YouTube. I asked, where are you watching from? We've got a Tampa, we have Seattle, we have the Philippines in here.
That's always cool.
Somebody wanted to know if I'm flying to Vegas after this. I think it's because of the
Oh my God.
No, that's funny. That's funny. I'm cool with that.
Viva Los Kerith.
We got Joe Williams saying JK should play 30 minutes. Now listen, I don't know about the 30, but he is firmly in the rotation and not just out there to be a body. He's making an impact.
He's 1,000% making an impact.
Yeah,
He's part of this.
1,000%.
He's part of this rotation, and that's what was so big. I think before we're at the 27-game mark. You're about to go on a big-time road trip. The rotation's starting to get figured out. Roles are really starting to get figured out. A game like Dante had, a game like Looney had, a game like Kuminga had. You're starting to figure out who this Warriors team really is. So, and that's without Andrew Wiggins.
Really important on the defensive side. And they got this without Wiggins.
Yeah, without Wiggins against a team like that.
Yeah.
But, I just think that you're starting to see, it's not a perfect Klay mold yet, but it's starting to kind of develop more and more with this rotation, with the roles. That's big time to me.
Excellent. All right, we've got people watching from Hong Kong, Tennessee, Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. Are you also a Kings fan? They have a pretty fun season going on too. Glad you're on the
The
Warriors side
Kings are
as
no
well.
longer the Kangs. They are the Kings
Kangs,
now.
light the beam. We've got a 209 area code, the 831. Dalton, yes, the way you and Steph said he's everyone's favorite psycho. Yes, brilliant. I love it. I love it.
Hopefully he's okay with that.
Someone's watching from Ghana. That's all right, we're back on Dubstock Live, presented by FitAid. We got to look at the schedule coming up. Again, a nice win to propel the team, but there's 6 games in 9 days with 2 back-to-backs. Dalton, this is a challenge.
Oh, it sure is. I mean, just look at the schedule in general. You start off with the Bucks, the biggest of the bunch to start off with, hit the ground running. But the Pacers, a scrappy team who just recently beat the Warriors. They get Tyrese Halliburton back. They get Miles Turner back. The 76ers, they have star power. The Raptors, they're always a good, strong team, a deep team usually, right? The Knicks are the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. I think Jalen Brunson is always going to be an interesting matchup for the Warriors, as we saw in the playoffs. And then with the Nets, anything can happen with that group, with Kevin Durant, with Kyrie.
Yeah.
So to have 2 back-to-backs, to have a handful of good playoff contending teams, the Warriors are going to know a lot about themselves after this stretch.
It feels like a very important stretch, and we know the Warriors haven't started great this season on the road, 2-11. What can the Warriors show you that indicates that they are rounding into form and looking like themselves?
I think just the little things, right? Hanging on the ball better, eliminating the turnovers, taking advantage of each opportunity. And I think we saw a little bit more of that tonight. You look at the free throw numbers. It's not like they were outdone by 20 as they were at times. You look at the fouls. There wasn't a bunch of bad fouls and coming in bunches. There was times where I would look and go, they only have 2 turnovers right now,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they had a little bit of stretch where they had a few more bad turnovers, but overall it was cleaning up the small things, which is just how you're going to get wins on the road. You can't let things pile up on the road.
All right, let's talk about something else that's coming up. It is a very special conversation with Jordan Poole. I had a chance to talk to him for 40 minutes. He was fantastic. The TV version of that interview comes on Friday the 16th. You can also hear the podcast version coming up on Monday. So just a few notes tonight. 20 points for Jordan Poole. He was frustrated a little bit, but he got it done the free throw line. And then we need to mention Kevon Looney. I wish we had more time for Loon, but 15 rebounds, 2 blocks, his 6-10 rebound game of the season. And he also had those rebounds that led to transition dunks, to layups. With no Al Horford in this game, this was really Looney's moment to kind of hoover those boards and control things, and he did. I don't have a question for Dalton on that. I just want to say thank you for your insight tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Big road trip on the way, but a big win at home to propel them forward. Thanks for watching Dubstock Live, presented by FitAid.
Goes by fast.
Yeah. Whew, that goes by so fast. That's okay. Yeah, that was, no, a lot of stuff is good. We brought you Kuminga. We brought you Steph. We got you stats. We brought you analysis. We brought you psychos.
Kerith is going to Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas. That's right. So, woo, thank you, everybody, for joining us in the comments here. We really appreciate you watching, and good things coming on the road, hopefully.
That's right. No, I'm excited. I'll be on the road for most of it. And like
excellent.
we said, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting trip. We're starting to understand who these Warriors are a little bit better.
Yeah.
But when they come home from that right before Christmas, we're going to have a much better idea.
All right, on Monday, Andrew Wiggins will be reevaluated. Remember, he has that adductor strain, which is just a way of saying groin, and I hope he can join the team on this road trip. All right, guys, thanks for watching Dubstock Live. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.